Okay, so this is one of the hardest ones on your homework on 10.2. I want to go through it so we make sure that we understand exactly how to do each of these. Okay, so we are going to be going from this one to this one. Okay, so because we're going from this blue one up here, we're first going to go ahead and we're going to look at our steps. So what is it that they're going to have us do? The first thing they're going to have us do is reflect against across the x or the y axis. Then we're going to translate at some point, and then we're going to dilate, which means enlarge or get smaller. So let's go ahead and look at that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I reflect, which way do I want to reflect? If I reflect across the y-axis, it's going to land somewhere in here. But you can see that that is facing the wrong direction. So I know I cannot reflect there. I want to be able to reflect from here across the x-axis because then it will face the right direction. Okay, so when I reflect across the x-axis, however much I've gone up, I'm going to go down. So my r is going to stay the same. My t is going to go up 9 on this line, so that means down 9, so that's t. S is going to go down 6 on this same line, so this is S prime. And U is going to come here. So now that I have made my reflection, finish drawing it in. Okay, now my next step is to translate it. And you notice that I went across the x-axis, so I only have this one to deal with. So I'm reflected across the x-axis. That was the first thing I had done. Now I'm going to translate it at some point, but I don't know how much to translate. So now I have to work backwards. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out my scale factor. My scale factor is going to be based upon this one right here. So here I've gone across 2, that's my new one, and I've gone across 6 here. So I want to undo this. So this is going to be 1/3, which means all of this to go backwards, I have to multiply by 3. First thing I have to do is I have to find all of my coordinates. So V, my coordinate right now is -1, -1. So when I multiply that, I'm going to get -3, -3. X, right now, I am at 0, -3. So when I multiply that, I'm going to get 0, -9. Y, right now, I am at -1, -4. Multiplied by 3, I'm going to get -3, -12. And then Z, I'm going to have -2, -3, which switches over to -6, -9. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make that new one. So V is going to be -3, -3. So this is V prime. X is going to be 0, -9. This is going to be X prime. Y is going to be -1, -4. No, that's the current one, -3, -12. And Z is going to be -6, -9. Okay, so let's go back and let's talk about this. Each one I had to go in order. So the first thing that I had to do was I had to identify where I was. So the first place where I am is right here. Then the second thing, this is the first one. And then the first move I'm going to make, which is the second picture, is I reflected across the x-axis. So this is number 2. Then I had to translate. So wherever I moved it to was where my number 3 would be. And then the last one, I dilated that number 3 and landed here. Okay, so that's why I had to go backwards. So now that I know all of this, Now I'm going to see how much did I translate it? What did I move? So here, let's look just at t. T is here, and I'm going to move to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to come down to t prime. So 6 units to the left. Let's get rid of these. 6 units to the left, and then 1, 2, 3 down. And then when I have the scale factor from this one, number 3, to number 4, what am I going to do? I'm going to go down by 1/3 because it's getting smaller. Okay, we've done one. We're going to do one more. Okay, here. Okay, so here's our next one. We're going to go ahead and do the same type of thing. We're going to check and see what we're supposed to be doing and which one we start with. Well, this ABC is our number 1. That's the first place that we're going to go and work. And then this one over here is going to be our last one. Well, let's see how many different things we're going to do. Well, first we're going to rotate. So that's going to be our second step. The first triangle is the original. The second step is to rotate it. The third step says that we're going to be translating it. And the fourth step says that we will dilate it. Okay, so those are going to be our 4 triangles. So this is going to be number 4. Okay, so the first step is to go through and figure out how much are we going to rotate it. Well, remember that unless they tell us that we're going counterclockwise or clockwise, we're always going counterclockwise. So we are going to move from this square and we want it to turn one way so that that C is up on the top. So we're going to rotate 90 degrees. So we have to do this one. Remember that in order to rotate 90 degrees, we have to know our points. So C is -2, +12. A is -14, +12. And B is -14, +2. Okay, in order to rotate, we're going to take and we're going to flip those. Okay, so this is going to be 12 backwards. So -12, +2. Because remember, we switched them. And those are both going to be negative now. Okay, and this is going to be C prime. The next one, I'm going to switch them again. So 12, 14, and because we're going into the third quadrant, those are both negative. -12, -14. Okay, so that's A prime. And then B prime is going to be 14, 2. So over 14. That's not right, just a second. I've got to switch them to 14, and they're both negative. So over 2, down 14. And that is B prime. Okay, so I've done the original. It was done for me. I've rotated it. Now I have to translate it. Well, I can't translate it until I know where I have to go. So wherever this one is dilated from depends on where it lands. So I have to find out where it's dilated from. So now this is the backwards part. So I have to undilate it to see where it was so I know how much to translate. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to check out where we're at. So I'm at 0, -5. I'm at -5, -5. And I'm at -5, +1. When I go across, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I go across, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So everything is a scale factor of 2. So when I have F at -5, +1, I'm going to go to -10, +2. When I have D at -5, -5, multiplied by 2 is going to be -10, -10. And E is at 0, -5. I'm going to double that, so I have 0, -10. Okay, let's switch off to another color. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and we're going to graph these now. So I have -10, +2, that's going to be F prime. Then I'm going to go to -10, -10. And this is going to be D prime. And then E is going to be 0, -10 here. So what we're saying is when I take this one right here, this green one, and I dilate it in half, I'm going to land here. So it's going to get smaller, so it has to be a fraction. So this has to be a half. Okay, now I want to know how much up and over. So this one right here is the second one because that was my rotation one. This one right here in green is my third one. And I want to know when I moved it here, how much did I move it up and over so that when I dilated it, it went to this pink one. So I'm going to take these top two and I'm going to see how much did I go up and over. So I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. So I moved 2 units to the right and I moved 4 units up. And now we're done. Okay, make sure you've got all of that written down. And come and see me if you have any questions, and I'll walk you back through another. Have a good day.